Welcome back, ladies. Just about got the last field of triticale, rye, whatever you want to call it, dealt with. So what happened was the camera did not record the picture, but it recorded my voice. So the last video I had up was not the way I intended for it. And we are here now. So I got the other small field chopped with rye, or triticale, or whatever you want to call it. Why do I see that? So is the camera like... Okay. Camera needs to come forward to more like right here. We'll have to adjust some things later. But yes, here we go. Shall we? Alright, 30 series is pulling up. But I'm just trying to top off the semi real quick. Not much I can do here. The auto drive does help quite a bit to get everything done around here. Get the field off. I think should just be these two wagonfuls left, which is going to be good news because the bunk is getting full. Bunk is really full, actually. We'll get that covered, and I already hauled a little bit of manure on the other section of the rye and got the pit empty. I don't have a whole lot, obviously starting out with a new barn and everything. Okay then. But we're gonna do what we can this year, fertilizing, and get the co-op to do the rest, and deal some lime here, and get these two fields planted with corn, and get them side dressed with nitrogen right away. Once I'm done picking up the bales, I was able to get have the 8000 series available after merging this field, that I threw it right on the baler. The 30 series tractor needed to come out and help because I sold the fast track. I sold the fast track and two of my Meyer boxes. Okay, so we see how that's going to go every time. But sold the two Meyer box wagons just to keep that one for a big reason. Plan is to go to a semi. I'm going to need a semi anyways to move cattle around. Semi will be great to have in the future. They haul more, they go faster, as long as the fields are not too wet. Now this is the kicker though. Another semi, another added cost. I don't need a whole lot if I keep going with the silage like I am on the haylage and some corn silage. So I'm going to have to put up some grain bins. Definitely need to be able to dry the corn down. I'm not going to have enough time to leave the corn in the field to dry down that much. But the nice break will be getting the corn in late after we get the rye off, and be able to get it cooled down a little bit more. So she should be done growing hopefully right by the time we get a frost, and with that frost it'll kill it off and start drying it down. Now I know we're playing Mother Nature here, but we can only hope that that's going to work out in our favor and not have to use too much LP to dry the corn down. Otherwise it's not worth it for us. But also on the same token, I could be grinding my own corn up with for the feeding cows now too, and be able to sell some to have the cash market. I don't really want to be selling my round bales because we're going to need them for the winter too. But if I'm sitting this heavy on silage, I might as well be selling something. Thought about putting some beans in, but this year I figured I better not, due to trying to grow the herd quite a bit more. I need as much silage as possible to make sure I make it through winter. But it's a big gamble. Farming's a gamble. Everything's a gamble. And we're going to give it a shot. I might as well quit yapping here and come back when we are planting into this stuff. It'll be no-till, so it's about gal darn time I get out here and get some corn in the ground. It's getting late in the year. I'm a little nervous about it. We had to go with a earlier variety for this late season stuff. I don't like it, but middle of June, I can't just let this ground go to waste. So we're going to get in what we can. Hopefully it matures enough and we actually get a decent silage yield out of it. I'm not terribly concerned about the yield from this corn here, just due to the fact that it is late in the year. But as you can see, I got my manure set down. We are no-tilling it in. Nice drone footage here. Get the GPS rolling in a bit. Get this field kind of handled around the outside some. Alright, let's lock her in. I think I'm good. Trying to do this no HUD thing without what's that mod where it's on a tablet and stuff. I really need to get that done. Shoot, I should be looking at Amazon right now. It's all on GPS. It's going to beep at me when something freaks out. I kind of want to see what this stuff's going to yield, when it's going to be ready to go. So that's a big push for this. And for you ladies that didn't know, Ray County is now public. This is not the public version of Ray County. This is my edit to beta version 4, I believe. Which it's been my map I've been working on for all of my RCR stuff to begin with. And wanted to keep going with and adding crops to and whatnot. So I still have to get precision farming in here and eventually transfer the save into the other map, which might be more difficult than I think. So therefore, come winter, it'll be a great time for me to transition over. I can now easy dev some fields in, so that way it would match like my rye and everything. The hardest part I'm going to have is getting my silage transferred over. Now I do know there is a way I can get it. It's just going to be difficult to get the placement right and everything, so I might just have to fully rebuild the farm by hand in game and then go ahead and edit the save XML, or the save game files I should say. But either way, I'm going to keep trucking along with the series. Hopefully keep bringing some new, better material forwards and also improving the game features at the same time. I would definitely like to add in some other row crops. I'll bring that forth as I keep tinkering with things and see how far I can push the game. But it's going to be a give and take. I can't completely break the game, which halfway there already. So I have to give and take on how narrow I go with the rows, and that will kind of dictate on what crops I bring forward with RCR and how we all handle that. And then I also want to try with the public release version of this to give it so I can have more crop limits, and I'll probably have to repaint the entire map. Kind of is what it is at this point, but I don't want to take anything away from No Creek when I say and do that either, because he has it detailed out really nice with a bunch of bushes and plants and everywhere. The issue is when you go ahead and up the number of crops you can have in a map, you have to edit the GDM files. It's adding more colors into that GDM, which then changes the colors of where everything's at. I don't know. Enough modding talk. I'm gonna get back into just chillaxing and planting and messing up my rows because it's 24 row planter and I'm not used to this big. Scooter, that's what she said. Cue the music. Well, ladies, that one sucks. I got a row unit. I think it was 2 row units. Freaking out here. So, definitely gonna have to pull in next to the shop and figure this one out. Pretty sure the semi's in my way. Like normal. Yep. 24 row, baby. Had to go big, right? So, I am going to get this stuff handled, fixed up, hopefully get my fields planted, and see you next time, ladies. Deuces.